allow investors to see how professional money management works. Which brings me to tonight's show, where I want to re-examine some of the most important investing rules I've learned the hard way. Investing rules that involve trumping human nature that can often be so counterintuitive to building great wealth. Now, I've often weaved these rules into the show, and many of them, well, they've been with me for a long time. But they badly need updating for this environment. So that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to reopen the canon that gave me years and years of outperformance, where I was able to beat the market consistently. And now I want to augment these rules to take into account all that has happened since I penned them more than a decade ago, and they were the rules that I've lived by before I penned them. So without further ado, rule number 1. Bulls and bears make money. Pigs get slaughtered. Now, close viewers of this show know why I have this hog sound, and why, yes, I have traded in the term pig for hog, because so many of you have told me that hogs are worse than pigs when it comes to greed. And of course, after this, often you hear this, the guillotine sound. It's because I never want to forget that taking a gain is a good thing, and you can't ever kick yourself for making money. You should kick yourself for losing money. Look, this show, me, all about common sense, frankly, which unfortunately in a world now dominated by political people and ideologues, often masking themselves as market mavens, well, my love for stocks marks me as an endangered species. I don't mind. Look, I got to stand by my investing principles, even if I think that politics can be far more important to your money than it certainly was when I started the show. It makes sense that a bull can make money when the market moves up, and it makes sense that a bear can make money when the market moves down. Both going long or buying a stock, and going short or betting against a stock. These are distinctly noble endeavors, both of them. I believe that people should be able to profit from the downside as much as they can from the upside. It's when you act piggish, when you refuse to take anything off the table after a huge run, that you get hurt. Now, this style has its doubters, mainly the people who have made so much money in a handful of the generation's best stocks. But let's understand each other. Not all stocks are created equal. And also, I am not saying take them all off the table and go home. I am saying take some of it off the table. My style of investing, and it is a style, one that permeates the show and is quite different from what you might hear or read all day, is to buy when stocks go down, because I believe when I'm investing that I'm buying shares in an enterprise. And unless that enterprise has faltered in the interim between my decision to buy and my buying, I stick with it. I use the market's inherent daily rationality and randomness that I talk about endlessly on the show. Remember how I say the market can be real stupid over short periods of time? To accumulate my favorite stocks. I'm willing to be very big or own a lot of that stock that I like if the overall market takes a downturn. We have seen totally domestic stocks like retailers brought down because of European weakness. And I come out here at night and urge you to use that weakness to buy. I know that the market's just inherently irrationally valuing these domestic retailers because they're part of the S&P 500. They're homogenized and commoditized, and the futures, rightly or wrongly, drive everything down at once, including the retailers. But I recognize the other side of the trade, too. Just as the market can take a stock down irrationally, it can also take a stock up irrationally, although far too few individual investors think this way. The difference is when a stock goes down irrationally, it's getting cheaper and cheaper. But when a stock goes up irrationally, like it or not, it is actually really indeed getting more expensive. And yes, the hot stocks of the hour are getting more expensive when they go higher, unless it turns out that their earnings are growing at a pace faster than the stock's move itself, and that is very rarely the case. In any walk of life other than investing in stocks, there comes a price that we should not be willing to pay, and a price where we would actually turn seller of goods. Only in stocks do we feel we should hang on regardless. That's just plain against common sense. When you're a hog, therefore, I actually do expect you to be slaughtered. People ask me how I knew to take money off the table right before the crash of 1987, or in March of 2000, before the dot bomb went off, and again in the fall of 2007 and 2008, ahead of the Great Recession. I always say it's because I simply was not willing to be a hog. I had made enough money during the bull runs that preceded these crashes. I've made a ton of money virtually in a straight line in each one of these situations, and had watched many of my favorite stocks go to absurd valuations that frankly could no longer be justified by any stretch of the imagination, and I didn't want to give back those gains, people. Of course, at the time, many pundits had plenty of justifications, intelligent, rational sounding justifications for staying in the market. But my bulls make money, bears make money, hogs get slaughtered philosophy got me out in time. Every time. Now, did I leave some money on the table? Absolutely. In almost every single case except 87. There was a little more to gain. Particularly in 2007. I saw stocks go up without me. It was terribly painful. But I had gains, and I had reservations, and I had to ring the register. Because I couldn't justify owning those stocks anymore. Again, no, you don't have to sell everything. That's been the way I hear people talk all the time, as if the big crash is right around the corner. But when things get crazy expensive, and I know you have a lot of gains, you will hear me say that you were being a hog. And the bottom line is that I don't want your head to be in the guillotine, or a guillotine, when the party ends and the big wins turn into losses. Steve in California, Steve.